Any feelings as good as that one?
Yeah, that's a good one, man. Enjoyable day. Happy to help the team and to win today is special, you know.
Every boyhood Arsenal fan, every fan still left in this stadium would dream of doing what you've just done. How special is it? What does it feel like?
Special, man. I'm grateful again, man. That's what I prayed for. I prayed for it today, man, a hat-trick, and I got it today, so I'm grateful to God, man.
Did you have that feeling today? I saw you at the end, I saw you after your hat-trick goal, kind of pointing to the sky. Did you have that sense today that someone had a plan for you, someone was looking down at you?
That was the prayer today. That was the prayer today, a hat-trick, and God gave it to me, so
delivered.
Again, that's faith, man.
And I know you're all Arsenal, your family, and I believe you're over there by that over and over again sign, so who else is here from the Eze family to enjoy that?
All my family's here, man, again, so it makes it even more special to do it in front of them.
And of course, had the summer worked out differently, you could have had a different shirt on today.
Let's not speak about that.
No, I thought you might say that. Pick of the goals.
They're all good, man. I don't know. Maybe the second one, man. That was my favourite.
Why?
Just the timing of it was just the right time, and yeah, man. Honestly, it's a special. All of them are good for me because I know that I've been working on it, the process to get in those positions. So yeah, it's worked out.
The senior hat-trick as well, I think.
Yeah, it is. Again.
Two quite a few times. Not a bad time to get the hat-trick.
Yeah, special, man. As I said, words can't explain this one today, man.
Well done. Look, you're the player of the match as well. First Arsenal player to score a hat-trick against Tottenham in nearly 50 years. Player of the match. There's a little match ball down there under your foot, so the old mantelpiece is going to be a bit more packed. Well done.
Not bad, man. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Cheers, man. Well done.
Eberechi Eze says that he prayed for a hat-trick today and his faith was rewarded, and he talks a lot about how much of a central part of his personality that is. But can he, Les, as someone who knows him as a person as well as a player, can he have that faith in himself as well?
Yeah, listen, I'm hoping so. You know, there's a lot of people that had a lot of faith in Eze, and he's gone on to do what he said. I said at the start of the show, I feel like since he's come to Arsenal, he's had the handbrake on a little bit. I know there's so much more to come from him. I didn't actually want to see it today, but I did. And he showed what he's capable. And I said, you know, he needs to sort of like embrace it. He needs to come here and say, I'm the man. I've come here to do this. This is what I've come here to do. And we saw it today. He scored a hat-trick. I mean, let's get this right. Arsenal scored 4 goals against... and they didn't get out of third gear. Tottenham were that bad today. It was embarrassing to watch. I was halfway through this game, I was hoping I could go in the box with Michael McIntyre and the rest of them because I didn't want to watch anymore. Do you know what I mean? You can't come to Arsenal and a North London derby and not put everything on the line. I think the manager got his tactics wrong today. He came here to be negative and to sit back and try and hold Arsenal off. And I think that just sent out the wrong message to the players because they just couldn't get out of gear. Arsenal scored the first goal, and that was it. Tottenham were done. You knew it was going to be.
We're going to talk.
And all of those memories and social media around the world has gone into overdrive after that biggest derby win in 13 years for Arsenal. And he's also the first Englishman to score in the North London derby since 1991. The late Kevin Campbell and Ian Wright, Esquire. So, and the first, as I say, Premier League hat-trick hero of the Premier League era. I mean, it's an extraordinary tale, whichever way you tell it.
To be honest, when I signed for Arsenal, like I said, me and David Rocastle spoke for hours about what it's like to play for Tottenham. I didn't dream of scoring a hat-trick because I'd have thought that would have been too much. Just to get 1 goal in my first game against Spurs would have been great. But for him, with everything what he's been through, to score a hat-trick in his North London derby, it's amazing, especially in this season, a season where, you know, question marks are still around him as he's settled in properly, as he's still trying to find his way in the Arsenal side, and you know that will just help him. That will just help him, but it's the kind of thing that he's achieved that I don't think he'll realise till the season's over, and hopefully Arsenal will have won the league.
Because his story of rejection and hard work to bounce back to get to this point of signing for them, let alone today's headlines.
As a youngster, you know, to be discarded from a football club when it's your dream and being Arsenal, his team, that must have been absolutely excruciating for him. And he could have actually just collapsed there and said, right, that's it, I'm giving up. A lot of kids do, you know, but he hasn't. He had that inner steel, he had that inner fight and character. But for me, I watched him many years ago, I think at QPR, and he stood out to me because he plays the game in a natural way. And he played that when he was 14, 15, and a lot of English coaches back then would have looked at him and said,
not for me.
Not for me.
Not for me, Clive.
Because at the end of the day, he couldn't do this, they were looking at, he couldn't do that. But at the end of the day, he's got immense talent. And that talent is coming out more and more now. And as I said earlier, Tuchel, he's got abundance of these players. How you can get him into the England team, I do not know.
Tim, we're so used to seeing teenagers these days break into the first team and go on to have long careers. Eberechi Eze is 27. Watching that today almost makes you wonder where he's been. Obviously, we know where he's been, but why it has almost taken him this long to reach the pinnacle?
Well, I think he's stayed at it, and when he was at Palace, he was a good player. But sometimes maturity takes longer for others, and it's hard to kind of look. I think Crystal Palace looked after him really well, stuck by him, helped him grow. Some players just, and then when it's time for them to mature, he got put into a team when he was ready to then take that. And we didn't see this Eberechi Eze at Palace. We saw a good version. But this is the next level, and he's only able to do that because he's in this team.
Sometimes when teenagers go into a team, Bex, you see them for the first season or two, and sometimes by 24, 25, they're on a bit of a dip. It's like they've had their... Sometimes coming later means that at 26, 27, you're in your prime, you know yourself, you've got experience, and he'll go on to, you know, mid to late 30s now with the career that he's had. Today, he was a difference maker. Today, he showed us the reason why you're going to spend $91 million for him. Today was why he can take this Arsenal team to another level, and that's why it was such a big day for him to get that hat-trick.
Tim, technically, what is it about him that makes him different from others?
Well, in moments, and there's very few players like this, where in moments where the game gets hectic, it slows down for him, and he controls that. I think his second goal was a perfect example. He gets the ball, he checks his shoulder, there's 4 or 5 players running at him, and it might as well have been in slow motion. It was like a comic book game. He just slowed it down and chopped it. That's not a skill that everyone possesses.
When you look at Arsenal right now and how easy that was for them today, nothing is a problem for this Gunners team. Nothing at all, it seems.
No, because they'll find the way to believe in the football. It's the trust in the football, in the process that Mikel Arteta talked way back in the day when he first took over. Today it was about patience. Today it was about not overcommitting, not getting too emotional, controlling their football, which they continue to do for the 30-odd minutes before the first goal came. And then from the moment the goal went in, it was only ever going to go one way. And in some respects, I think 4-1 actually shows the difference between the two teams. Arsenal were that much better.
And also, and it doesn't matter, but it would be nice for the Arsenal fans that today was not about set pieces.
It was not about set pieces. It was about brilliant football. And look, I just think that felt like more than 3 points to me. I thought, okay, they get the 3 points and they create a little bit more of a gap. The energy in the stadium afterwards, the way they handled the derby match, the hat trick, I just felt that will pay more dividends for the players inside that dressing room to go on and now push.
And stops a bit of that narrative. No Gabriel, oh, what will Arsenal do? And Capier come in and had no problems whatsoever. That's a really important big win for Mikel Arteta and his team.
OK, let's take you back to...
A dominant first-half performance from Arsenal means they lead Spurs by 2-0 at the break. The first of the goals coming from Leandro Trossard. And while a lot of the talk was around set-pieces, Thierry, both of these goals were about as far from that as possible.
Yes, but I'm looking at Van de Ven trying to go out on Declan Rice and be out of position, and then Timber and obviously and Bukayo Saka exchanging. And if you let Merino look at the stadium, turn around and have all the time in the world to pass the ball like that on a great run from Leandro Trossard, as you're going to see here, when the ball is going to go there, you're trying to make it tight away. You let him turn, go around, look like in training, chip the ball. There is 5 defenders, no one reads the run. And Leandro Trossard gets lucky, obviously, at the end. But he made the run, he was there, good control. And at the end of the day, we won't mind that the ball went in.
Well, Arsenal fans certainly won't mind that they'll win. It might be a slightly different view from a Tottenham point of view. Was there much more that they could have done, Jamie?
Of course, there's a lot more they can do. They've been really poor with the ball. But in some ways, you don't accept that. But you're playing Arsenal, you've set up to try and stop them and nullify them. 2 goals come from getting space on the edge of the box. We'll see that on the second goal as well. If you've got 2 central midfield players in Paulinho and Bentancur who you accept they're not great at receiving the ball, they're not. We highlighted that on Monday Night Football a few weeks ago when they played Arsenal. They're not good enough to play the ball through the pitch. OK, but what you've got to be good at is making sure there's not space on the edge of the box for someone to chip a ball over the top. And something similar happens on the second goal, Les.
If there was one Arsenal player that you wouldn't be too unhappy with scoring in this fixture, would it be Eze?
I'm still unhappy with him scoring, but like, you know, it talks about him not doing enough, and he's got so much more to go, and he finds himself in there, and he has just takes it inside. But as Jamie said, he's got so much space on the edge of the box. You're playing 5 at the back, and it's a North London derby. Come on, have a go. But he finds himself in there, wriggles through it, and has a good shot. I don't understand. I need someone to explain to me how this doesn't affect the goalkeeper's sight. I don't understand it.
Especially when you can see him afterwards saying he can't see. He can't see what's
exactly.
happening.
Look at this.
The Arsenal players who are in offside positions affecting his sight of the ball.
Yeah, I don't understand how that's not looked at and seen that these players are blocking the goalkeeper's view there. I really don't.
And a little deflection also, but no, I can understand what you're saying. The thing that actually, I mean, surprised me the most with what we were talking about is that in the tactic is that 5-2-3. This is why every time Bentancur and Paulinho shuffle across one way, the other midfielder on the other side will be alone. This is why Merino at time when he received the ball. This is why Eze got the ball after obviously he was coming back from a cross clear by Denso. But it's very difficult for those two to shuffle across. At one point, Odebe had to drop, and then I think it was Kudus also had to drop, and they made it like a 5-4 flat 1. But it was too late.
But what Arsenal are doing with that, at times they're not playing without a striker. They're almost playing on the outside of Tottenham's formation. That's where the goals come from. They come from out wide, then they penetrate centrally. So brilliant from Arsenal.
Yeah, not so much for...
I'd like to please all Arsenal fans. 2-0 up at half-time. 4 shots and 2 in the back of the net. For Spurs, the second time in the Premier League under Thomas Frank in the first half, they have failed to have a shot of any note in that first period. So... a very happy Ian Wright. Before we see the first goal, you were seeing signs in a certain area of Arsenal potentially hurting Tottenham.
Obviously with no out-and-out number 9, Mikel Merino, and that space what Mikel Merino and Eze can take up I think is vital. And this is the chance here with Declan Rice. You know, brilliant play, passing the ball into Eze in those areas where they can make things happen, and they do. I think he's got to give him that. I think now with Mikel Merino, where he's playing, he's got to give him that. He could turn and then we could go from there. They don't give it to him. I think this is one as well from Declan Rice, so I'm very surprised. Calafiori, just give it him. You know, you can see Mikel Merino's getting himself back in the box there. Give it to him on his left foot, and maybe we can get in the box with that. And then this is the goal. And again, you can see Mikel Merino, he's not being picked up. But once it goes into him, now with that time and space, give it to him or Eze, you can see them both there. And then once that happens, then Trossard makes a great run. And that's what we need. When he drops out, if someone's not going, we need runners beyond him, because he can then do this. He can put the ball in there. We get a bit fortunate with the finish, but you take it. I think we deserve that. I think we deserve that.
It's a great ball from Merino.
Yeah.
He's just waiting for the run, the movement. Good take from Trossard. I think he gets a little bit lucky. Van der Ven gets a deflection. Maybe the keeper, the Coro, might have saved it, but that is where the goal was made, that pass from Merino, and in the end, Trossard does well to shrivel on it.
Yeah.
But Van der Ven, again, gets back. He's unlucky that we're not talking about what a wonderful block, but Arsenal deserved it. You know,
we talked long and hard beforehand about Tottenham's tactics and Thomas Frank's team selection. Why hasn't it worked in that?
Well, I just think they've retreated too deep too early. They've not really had a chance to press them as such from goal kicks, because they haven't had enough, actually, in free play to get up that side of the pitch and up that high up. At the end of the day, Spurs have been very poor in getting out. They've not used the ball anywhere near as good as they should be. So they're just being penned back in. And it really is an awkward situation for them now at 2-0 down. I was always worried about the two, as I said, the only two in midfield. And eventually, that amount of possession that Arsenal had, they were going to outnumber Tottenham. And as Ian's just shown there, eventually they did, and they got into the centre of that pitch. Once you get in and around that D and get your head up like Eze and Marino, and there's been a few players in that position, then you got licence to kill, and they've punished Tottenham again. You'll see the second goal. You know, Rice played in a beautiful little pass in Eze in that area, not enough pressure in that part of the pitch.
What a moment for Eze.
Really
His North
pleased for him.
London derby debut.
Yeah. Pleased for him because there's still people, question marks, they still want to see more from Eze because he's not, I don't say Eze as somebody who has loads of touches. He just has special touches. He has moments. This is another moment, but Gaffer, Rice's pass there.
Rice's pass is excellent.
That there is top draw, that pass. On the move, coming at him at pace. Obviously, Eze in that kind of area, ball amongst his feet, great feet, sorted his feet out, and, you know, from there, you just got to hit it through the crowd.
Vicario's got a clear view of that.
I think he has, yeah. Looking from behind the goal, it looked a little bit more, but when you see it from a different angle, I think he just sees, it's just from this angle, he's just seeing it enough.
Yeah.
There's no Arsenal player really in his way there. It's a great quick feet. Quick feet of Eze has produced that goal for him, but Rice is... It looked simple, that pass, but it was on the half volley.
And he's coming at it at pace, yeah.
And he just sort of almost just cushioned it to Eze. Brilliant. It was a brilliant touch from Rice.
OK, so if you want some inspiration, 15 years ago, Spurs were 2 down at half-time under Harry Redknapp and won 3-2.
Yeah.
Right. OK.
Yeah.
It can be done.
We'll wait for that.
It can be done, but they've got to play a lot better.
As you can see in that table at the moment,